Number 22, Brooklyn McLamory. Batting third at shortstop, a sophomore. Number 23, Amber Dozier. Batting cleanup at third base, a junior. Number 6, Ashley Schofield. Batting fifth, the designated player, a sophomore. Number 29, Sydney Jenkins. Batting sixth at second base, a sophomore. Number 12, Courtney Davis. Batting seventh, pitching, a senior. Number 7, Taylor Rossman. Batting eighth at first base, an 8th grader. Number 24, Taylor Rozier. Batting ninth in center field, a sophomore. Number 10, Jade Williams. And the flex player catching, an 8th grader. Number 5, Lindsay Fuller. The assistant coaches, Ron Moe, Randall Trussell, and Chris Eichler. And the head coach for the Seminoles in his 12th year, Rick Rossman. The umpires for tonight's game are from the Broward County Athletic Association in Fort Lauderdale. They are at first base, Robert Cohee. At third base, James Witt. And working behind the plate, Ken Jones. Ladies and gentlemen, to honor America and those who support our freedom at home and abroad, please rise, remove your hats for the playing of our national anthem.
After about a 2.5-hour rain delay, it's time for the Class 4A State Softball Championship here on the Florida High School Athletic Association Network. Kelly Neff along with Mike Estes as we are ready to go for the game between the Seminoles of Florida at 21-6 and the Raiders of Gulliver Prep at 26-5. The visiting team is going to be the the Gulliver Prep Raiders. Let's take a look at their starting lineup. They'll be leading off with the third baseman, Ashley Leone. The center fielder, Dominique Grossman, will bat second, followed by the first baseman, Stephanie Teixeira. Batting in the number 4 spot is the pitcher, Christina Gabrielle. Batting fifth and playing right field, Gabriella Draney. Batting in the number 6 spot, the shortstop, Crystal Garcia. Sophie DeSolo is the designated player, and she'll be hitting 7th. Catcher is Victoria Rios, and batting 8th. Batting 9th will be the second baseman, Taryn Bray. The non-hitting left fielder is Sammy Lujan, and we are underway. Defensively, for the Seminoles in the outfield, left to right is K.K. Nixon, Jade Williams, Brooklyn McLamory. The infield, third to first, Ashley Schofield, Amber Dozier, Courtney Davis, and Taylor Rozier. The catcher is Lindsey Fuller. Taylor Rossman is the pitcher. Taylor is 17-5 and has 190 strikeouts in 148 innings. Her earned run average 0.85. Mike Estes has joined us once again. Another stellar earned run average, at least for the pitcher.
Oh, yes. Rossman pitched just an excellent game in the semifinals. Great rise ball. She relies on that with 2 strikes, a good curveball away, and mixes in a changeup to keep hitters off balance.
That one's hit in the air, but it's going to drift out of play. And the count goes to 1 ball, 1 strike. We had a bit of a storm come in here for a while. First it was a lightning delay, and then it really did rain. The field took it very well, though.
The field looks great.
There's one grounded right through the pitcher's legs as Rossman could not get her glove down in time. And the first batter in the first inning gets a single to center field. And here comes Dominique Grossman. Grossman's hitting .373. She has 6 home runs on the year from this number 2 position, 20 driven in. The last 2 games of the season. It's hard to believe it's already almost over.
Yeah, the week actually went fast.
Yes, it has. 8 days. Grossman steps in, hits one in the air. Runner was halfway to second base. Center fielder Jade Williams makes the catch, and traveling back to first base is Leon. And here's Stephanie Teixeira. Like her New York Yankee namesake, she is a first baseman. Bats left-handed, hitting .463. That's the best average on the team. She, too, has a little bit of power, 6 home runs, 32 driven in.
Yeah, she actually hit a home run in yesterday's semifinal.
She's number 13 as she takes one just under the chin. I'm not sure if there's any more rain in the air. It looks pretty nice right now.
Yeah, at least from the direction the initial rain came from, it looks great.
Delayed steal, throw down to second base. The umpire falls down as the runner slides in. Might be a little bit slick out there, you think?
Yeah, I'm wondering if he made contact with the second baseman as she was trying to get into position. It almost looked like that. I got blocked by our netting here, but I think that may have been what happened.
Anyway, he didn't have to make a close call because it was not close, and at second base is Ashley Leon. Teixeira getting loose in the batter's box. The 1-1 delivery from Taylor Rossman, and that's fouled away. Rossman's pitched 148 innings, given up 62 hits is all, 18 earned runs, only walked 17 batters, and has 190 strikeouts on the year. There you see her right there.
Actually, I noticed Leon at second base. She's kind of going back into the base a little gimpy.
Here's the ball hit towards the left field, back deep, and popped out of the left fielder Nixon's glove. Runner on second base is going to end up scoring. I'm not sure whether that one was caused by some wet grass or not, but she kind of slipped as she went back. We have our first run of the game, and here we are, Mike. More first inning runs.
Yeah, I think I've said it all week. It's first inning jitters. These kids on the big stage, and that's a little tougher on the defense, I think, than the offense.
And that's going to be a 2-base hit for Teixeira. She's at second base with her 33rd run batted in of the season. Here's Christina Gabriel, .363, 2 home runs, 23 driven in. Pitch misses outside. Rossman, for the most part, the only pitcher that Florida High uses. They have 2 others that have pitched a combined total of 28 innings on the year. Here's one fouled away.
And for the first time this week, the flag is blowing in a different direction in right field.
It's actually blowing away from us, and it's going from center field across to right field. Here's the delivery. Swung on and fouled back. Catcher Lindsey Fuller goes after it. So the schedule for tonight, we're going to keep you up a little late tonight. Well, Monday night softball, because the second game, the 8A championship game, is not scheduled to start until 9:30. Here's the pitch, and that's hit in the air, our direction. And no play on that as it hits the screen.
Yeah, so if you hear me snoring at 9:30, just nudge me.
Well, we're getting to that age, Mike, where it's at 9:30 is kind of bedtime, isn't it? You probably wanted to go to sleep on some of those bus rides home. There's the pitch that misses outside. Mike, incidentally, is the head coach at East Lake to the west of us. Not quite no, it's west and north, right?
Actually, no, you were correct. It's
Just
just about
west.
directly west.
Well, the shortstop misplayed that one. It goes through Dozier and into center field. They have a play at the runner at third, but going in third, sliding is Teixeira. Dozier, well, it's one of those balls hit where if you charge it, you're going to have to scoop it on a short hop. If you back up, it's going to spin away and play you. So they're going to give her a base hit because it really wasn't Dozier's fault. She wasn't sure how to play that.
Yeah, it was a tough play. Actually turned into be a tough play.
Well, 4 batters, 3 base hits. Mark Schusterman in his 26th year at Gulliver Prep. So he has 4 state championships under his belt.
Pretty impressive. It's tough to win 1, much less win 4.
He actually won them all in Class 3A. Now they're in Class 4A, which technically is like last year's 3A, kind of. Here's the pitch, and that one is going to be a strike called. Runner goes down to second. Defensive indifference. It's a DI, where when I was in the service, that meant drill instructor. But now it's defensive indifference.
Yeah, it's a new stat they've got.
There's one fouled away. This is Gabriella Draney, 301 hitter, no home runs, 10 driven in.
Yeah, Kelly, you notice at second base, that's Gulliver Prep's pitcher, Gabriel, and they're not using a courtesy runner. She basically tells her coach she doesn't like to be run for.
Okay. Well, yeah, maybe she feels more in the game that way. There's one fouled back. No, it's not fouled back. It's going to be a play at the plate on the wild pitch. It went back to the screen and bounced back to Lindsey Fuller. Heads up, Teixeira comes in to score. Gabriel goes to third. And that would have been strike 3. That's why Draney is at first base. So the wild pitch allows the Raiders to score a run.
Yeah, again, that's a tough play there to get that result.
Well, now Coach Rick Rossman's going to go out. You know, we can't tell. We're so far away. We can't hear if the ball's fouled or not. We just have to watch for the umpire's reaction, and he did not. He got out of the way, which was the first indication that he wanted the catcher to go back and get the ball. But you notice the ball ricocheted back. It's a hard backstop, and the ball hits that sometimes. You can come right back to the catcher.
Yeah, especially on this field, and the netting even above the knee wall there is like a trampoline. When the ball hits it just right, it'll go. You'll see some balls before this game's over. I'm sure they'll go all the way back to the pitcher.
Fuller went back and underhanded the throw to Rossman. They were not able to put the tag on Teixeira, and it is a 2-0 Gulliver Prep lead. Well, you get a team like Gulliver Prep at 26-5, and you don't want to give them any extra base runners. Make them earn it. Runners at first and third. They have 3 base hits already in the inning. Crystal Garcia, 347 on the year, 2 home runs, 16 driven in. She is the shortstop. And she'll take a strike, and we'll have another defensive indifference down to second base. You know, they list this young lady as a switch hitter, but she's hitting right-handed against a right-handed pitcher, which in baseball really would be against the odds. I guess it doesn't really matter in softball much, does it?
No, not really. I mean, if you have maybe a hard-throwing left-handed pitcher, you may want to go right-handed. You know, but other than that, I don't think it makes much of a difference.
Here's the 0-2, and it's upstairs. 1 ball, 2 strikes. But we spent the 2.5-hour rain delay talking softball, talking a lot of other things, telling some of the stories that we can't tell on the air. But the rest of them we saved for tonight. Here's a pitch that just misses outside, 2-2. Anybody who may have been listening to the semifinals in 8A last night or might be listening again, wondering if you got your steak dinner on the way home last night.
Negative. It was a little too late, and again, hard to cut it in the truck driving home.
Yeah, you need some help there, I think. There's the ball fouled away, and there are now 3 softballs up there.
I could have got a hamburger, cut that up, and pretended it was steak,
yeah,
right?
Told everybody. You wouldn't have, you could admit it. Here's one swung on and missed down on strikes. Goes Crystal Garcia. The second strikeout of the inning after a fly ball to center, but the inning continues because we had the wild pitch which allowed Draney to get on base. Here comes Sophie DeSolo. 247 average, 1 home run, 18 driven in. Gulliver Prep team knows how to hit home runs. 5, 10, 16, they have 18 home runs. Well, more than that, they have 19 now. Pitch is a strike call. You know, you talk about or hear about a shortage of officials, but we don't have any shortage of umpires around here. There's some pretty good ones.
Yeah, these guys work a lot of games during the season, and I think they really enjoy being asked because you have to be asked to come to the Final Four. It's not a situation where you put your name in there. It comes from their evaluators and, throughout the state.
Do they try and keep crews together so they're familiar with each other, do you think?
I'm pretty sure they do, yes.
Here's the 0-2. Swung on and missed, and down on strikes goes Sophie DeSolo to end the top half of the first inning. However, it was a very productive inning for Gulliver Prep. They came up with 2 runs on 3 base hits. There were no errors, and there were 2 runners left on base. We'll head now to the bottom half of inning number 1 as the 21-6 Florida Seminoles come up to the plate. We'll take a look at their starting lineup. The left fielder K.K. Nixon will open things up, followed by right fielder Brooklyn McLamory. Amber Dozier is the shortstop. She'll bat third, followed by third baseman Ashley Schofield. Sydney Jenkins is the designated player. She'll hit in the number 5 spot. She'll be followed by Courtney Davis, the second baseman. Hitting in the number 6 spot is Taylor Rossman, the pitcher. Batting 7th, actually. And batting 8th will be the first baseman Taylor Rozier. And center fielder Jade Williams will round out Rick Rossman's lineup. Lindsey Fuller is the non-hitting catcher. Defensively for Gulliver Prep in the outfield left to right, Sammy Lujan, Dominique Grossman, Gabby Draney. The infield third to first, Ashley Leone, Crystal Garcia, Taryn Bray, and Stephanie Teixeira. The catcher is Victoria Rios. And pitching will be Christina Gabriel. Gabriel with a 21-2 record heading into tournament play. 137 innings pitched. Only 15 earned runs. That equals to an ERA of 0.77. And 16, well, that's got to be wrong, 16 strikeouts, 29 walks on the season. I think whatever computer system they used didn't like giving us the correct strikeout totals for the year.
Yeah, I think yesterday she was 189 or something like that on the one stat sheet I saw, Kelly.
Okay, well, look it up here and see if we can find it for Gulliver Prep, just to be accurate. Well, it says in here it's only 33 strikeouts.
I think that might be in district play, district to regionals probably.
Oh, it says 89. I'm sorry, I was looking at the wrong. That's a little better. 89 strikeouts on the year for Christina Gabriel. She'll be facing K.K. Nixon to lead things off. Nixon is a left-handed hitting left fielder. So you've seen this girl. What does she throw?
Christina, she has very good movement, good rise ball. She goes to it a lot. Good curveball, and again, a good changeup. And all the pitchers at this point in the season have to have a good changeup.
Oh, she uses the changeup right away. And it goes high on Nixon.
Yeah, and she pointed at her chest saying, "My bad," so she knows she released it wrong, or, whatever. She was taking the blame for that one.
Shaquila Nixon is her real name. They call her KK. She fouls one away. She's a slap hitter. Kind of looks like she might be that kind of a hitter.
Yeah, yesterday she had a couple of good bunts, and she swung away at one time too, so she's not just a slapper.
Number 81, Christina Gabriel. Here's the 1-1, and she hits that one in the air, and it's not playable. And now we have 4 softballs up on the screen. Wonder what the state tournament record on that is.
I saw about 8 up there yesterday, so we'll see. We'll see if we can get above that.
We're halfway there, and it's bottom of the first inning. Here's the pitch, and that is a kind of a screwball type of a pitch, and Nixon is caught looking. 1 down in the bottom of the first inning, and here's Brooklyn McLamory.
Yeah, Gabriel stayed with everything off speed there.
McLamory's hitting .333, no home runs, 9 driven in. They aren't as big a home run hitting team. They only have had 6 as a team. When they took a good look at it, but it missed outside and low. 1 ball, no strikes. The final 2 games of the tournament, games 23 and 24. And, of course, the Florida High School Athletic Association Network will pack things up. Here's one hit towards center field. Right in her track is the center fielder, Grossman. She puts that away, and there's 2 gone in the first. Here's Amber Dozier, 486 on the season. 1 home run, 21 driven in. Because everybody's going to pack up everything and head south. Going to go to Port St. Lucie, where the state baseball tournament runs this Thursday through next Thursday with sort of the same format they have here with the 8 classes. Boy, they better not build any more schools around here. I mean, man alive, they're going to have 9, 10 days, classes, and they're going to have themselves, it's going to be like you start the season and all of a sudden it's over and the tournament starts.
They'll have to consolidate or do something.
And we have a delay here of some kind, and I'm not sure what that is, but now we're going to go back to action.
Yeah, I have no idea what was going on there.
The umpire was looking down. I don't know if he's looking down to the third base ump or looking beyond that for something. Here's the pitch by Gabriel, and that was hit in the air, but it's not going to be playable. Even though the first baseman, Teixeira, no, excuse me, that's the right fielder, Draney. Right fielder's playing pretty shallow here. She went over to take a look.
Yeah, they actually have an odd setup on defense in my mind. Deep in center, deep in left, shallow in right.
Here's one hit foul behind the plate, and the count goes to 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes on Brooklyn McGlamory. Well, maybe they have what you were talking about earlier this year, and they have that, what do you call that? Not a spreadsheet.
Well, it's pretty much a hitting chart. A spray sheet is what that's what we like to call it.
There's the pitch grounded towards second. Bray has it over to first. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Christina Gabriel. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base.
It's only the second.
Oh, it's only the second? Thought we had a strikeout and a fly out to center field.
I thought so too. I'm not sure what. Maybe that was what the conversation was about.
Yeah, here comes Dozier. So that was McGlamory who grounded to second base.
You know what? It would have. Maybe there was an illegal pitch.
No, that might have been
on the fly ball to center, and that could have been the conversation the umpire was having. That's exactly what happened. So had she gotten a hit there, she could have kept the result of the play.
As it is, they brought her back to finish her at bat. So here's Amber Dozier. I thought maybe they changed the rules on it since it's the second week of the tournament.
Maybe she had a mulligan like golf.
Yeah, that's right. Do-over. Remember when you were playing in the street? Oh, that's a do-over. It went in the tree. Here's the 1-1 delivery to Amber Dozier. And the delivery is going to be high. Ball 2, 2 balls and a strike. I'm glad you caught that. I'd be at the top of the second inning already.
Yeah, I just happened to realize it. And even on my sheet, I thought I messed up, and I had the kids backwards in my sheet batting.
So Dozier's hitting at 486. She's up there right now. Takes one high and tight. And the count goes to 3-1. Well, I did look at the scoreboard, and they had 2 balls, no strikes up there, and I thought that's kind of odd to start a batter off at 2-0. So that's what it was.
Maybe she did something wrong in warm-ups and she got penalized.
Here's the delivery. And that one is lined back against the screen. Somebody sitting in the press area during that rain delay had a good idea. Let's start everybody up 0-0. It's top of the 5th. Just play 3 innings and it's all over. 3 or 4 innings.
Yeah, to catch up on time, that's a good idea.
Yeah. Gulliver doesn't like that, though. They're up 2-0, scoring 2 runs in the top of the first. There's one fouled straight back. And the count remains 3-2. Christina Gabriel, right-handed pitcher. We've seen both, right and left. Have you worked a lot with left-handed pitchers at all?
I actually have 2 at my high school.
Okay.
Both sophomores.
Here's the delivery, and that one is a strike call. Ring her up. Down on strikes goes Dozier. 2 strikeouts, both called third strikes in the first inning. Well, the totals are just like I told you a moment ago. No runs on no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. Now we will go to the top half of inning number 2. It'll be numbers 7, 8, 9. Rios, Bray, and Leon to face pitcher Taylor Rossman. Well, let's talk a little bit about this Gulliver Prep team coming up to the plate. As we mentioned, they've won 4 state championships, all in Class 3A. They won the 1998 championship 5-2 over Cardinal Mooney. And 3 years later, Cardinal Mooney came in again, and Gulliver Prep beat them 2-1. So they don't like each other. Then in 2007, they lost the state championship in 3A to Trinity Prep 2-0. Then the last 2 years, they're going for a three-peat here. They won the Class 3A championship 1-0 in 11 innings over Bowles in 2010. Then last year they won 10-3 over Satellite to win the Class 3A championship. So these girls, probably all of these, have had a couple of years' experience, except for maybe the freshmen. But most of them have been here. This is their third year in a row.
Yeah, so it's they may not be nervous at all. That could explain the 2 runs in the first inning.
Come up there loose as a goose, as they say. Well, both these teams warmed up. They do so on their, I don't know if they're assigned other fields, but they warmed up on the other fields. Then I think they both got in their buses and actually left the complex, knowing they weren't going to play for a while.
Right, they made an announcement about the lightning and said they couldn't stay in the dugouts. They needed to go to their vehicles.
And they, if not both of them, one of them at least, left. I think it went back to their hotel. I think it might have been the team from Gulliver, because I think their coach said they're staying over tonight no matter what. Here comes Victoria Rios hitting a .253. No home runs, 14 driven in, takes a strike. Well, Taylor Rossman actually recorded 4 outs in that first inning, had a wild pitch on a strike 3, so she struck out 3, but she gave up 2 runs. Here's the pitch, and that one's fouled straight back. And it goes 0-2.
Yeah, and I believe Rossman is a signee at the Jacksonville University.
Ah, okay. Not going too far from home.
And her counterpart, Gabriel, if I'm not mistaken, has signed with George Mason.
Wow. Here's the delivery. That's outside and low. College coaches kind of hit Florida pretty hard, don't they?
Yeah, the kids get to play year-round, and that's a big bonus. And they've really started to realize there's a lot of talent in the state of Florida for girls fast pitch.
1-2, pitch pop, foul, and out of play. Heading towards our truck. Nope, hits the screen. Okay, we're going to have number 5 up here. This one's going to roll around. Yep, it's going to join its buddies over there. Well, Seth, you better get out a whole new box of balls, because they're all going to be on the screen before the night's over. 1-2. Here's the pitch, and that is strike 3 call. Ringer up again. 4 strikeouts in the ballgame so far for Taylor Rossman. Here comes Taryn Bray, hitting .301. No home runs, 10 driven in. One of 2 left-handed batters for Coach Schusterman. Batting in the number 9 spot in the lineup. She fouls it back. So what's the advantage? I've always wondered this, and I've never asked a coach, what makes a good number 1 hitter as opposed to a number 7 hitter, let's say?
On-base percentage. Basically, put the ball in play, put pressure on the defense, speed helps, and limit your strikeouts.
Here's one fouled away. It comes all the way through the screen. Do you agonize over who bats 6, who bats 7? Are the bottom of the order kind of interchangeable?
No, there's. I actually had this conversation last night after I left here, and there's always a method to your madness. You try to set kids up into a certain situation.
And there's the strike 3 called again. 5 strikeouts in the first inning and 2/3 for Taylor Rossman. Now we go back to the top of the order, and Ashley Leone. Leone will step up. In fact, maybe throughout the course of the broadcast, we'll talk about what makes a good lineup. Leone singled and tripled yesterday. Had 2 stolen bases and actually stole home one of those times. They actually had 2 steals of home in their game yesterday.
Yeah, and I believe this is I'm pretty sure this is a young lady that is signed with Auburn to play softball.
Here's the pitch fouled back. All right, so you've explained the number 1 hitter. Number 2 hitter has to be patient at the plate, I'm sure.
Yeah, a lot of teams want to use a kid that's a very good bunter. Again, maybe a kid that can hit the ball opposite field, hit behind a runner that's on first or on second, and move her into an easier scoring position.
Here's one hit to left field. This one's smoked. That one's going to hit the fence on 1 bounce. Rounding first and going into second base with her second base hit in 2 innings is Ashley Leone. Leone smoked that one over left fielder's K.K. Nixon's head all the way to the fence. 2 out, 2 base hit, and here comes Dominique Grossman.
Yeah, Leon got all of that one.
Yes, she did.
I tell you, she made a play yesterday on defense I've never seen before. She placed third. Young lady bunted the ball. She actually fielded the ball in front of the pitching circle and tagged the runner out as she was going to first.
Wow. Here's the delivery, and that one swung on a miss. All right, now you're into the number 3 and 4 holes, and those got to be the people with power, you think?
A little bit of power and RBI specialist. I mean, that you want your 3 hitter to be maybe one of your highest averages.
Here's the pitch hit in the air. Second baseman Courtney Davis falls. The ball falls into her glove, and the 2-out double goes for naught. No runs on a hit, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. As we go now to the bottom half of the second inning, it'll be 4, 5, and 6. Schofield, Jenkins, and Davis to face Christina Gabriel. We'll get back and talk about the number 3 and 4 hitters and what constitutes good ones and how you make out your lineup shortly. But we mentioned about the state championships won by Gulliver Prep. Florida High has never played in a state championship game. They've been in the semifinals 3 different times, including last year. They lost in the semifinals in 97, 99, and 1 year ago. But then, again, Gulliver Prep hasn't won every time they've been here either. They lost in the semifinals in 2003, 2006. So it looks like Gulliver Prep is an elite squad, and Florida High is trying to get there.
Yeah, Gulliver Prep has built a solid softball program, and looks like Florida High is starting to do the same thing.
Well, let's talk about the number 3 and 4 hitters. They got to be gap hitters.
Well, you know, I like to have a kid, like I said, that can produce runs. You get base runners on, you want her to be able to come up with either the big hit or just a hit. And, you know, at our high school, I use a kid with the highest average on her team, and it just seems to work out that way year after year. She ends up having the highest average, you know, batting in the 3 spot. And, you know, it's typically not by accident. And then I try to get another kid with a good bat in the 6 spot, even though you have 4 and 5 having a little bit of power. But I like to have a kid that has RBI potential in the 6 spot. And it just seems to work out that way.
7, 8, and 9, as we mentioned earlier, not interchangeable. What do you look for in those particular spots?
Again, just being able to put the ball in play, put pressure on the defense. And I've used a couple of kids this year in the 9 spot that actually would lead off for a bunch of teams, or maybe even hit 2nd or 3rd for a bunch of teams. And the main reason was teams that didn't know us, she could get a lot of good pitches to see because pitchers tend to relax to that 8 and 9 hitter.
Here's one hit in the air. Second baseman Bray camps under it, makes the catch. 4 straight batters have been retired to open up the ball game for Christina Gabriel, whose team leads it 2-0. That ball that was hit in the first inning, Gabriel hit to left field, has been ruled an error on the left fielder, so there's 1 error up on the board. Sydney Jenkins hitting .325, no home runs, 17 driven in. And the delivery from Gabriel. So do you use a flex player who doesn't hit usually?
Yeah, quite often. For the majority of my games, I don't always like my pitcher to hit. Unless she's just an animal and, you know, crushes the ball every time.
Here's the 1-0 pitch that is hit in the air. Again, second baseman Bray goes back. Right fielder comes in, but Bray makes the catch. 2 gone in the second inning. And here comes Courtney Davis. Davis is hitting .333, no home runs, 12 driven in. Kelly Neff, along with Mike Estes, the head coach at East Lake High School, whose team was eliminated in the second round of the regionals semifinals this year, to Durant, who's in the finals tonight. Here's the pitch. That was hit in the air, behind home plate, and it's going to be on the screen. Bright House camera guy could have reached out and got that one. Well, now there's 4, 5, 6 balls out there.
Yeah, Scott may have ended up on the netting himself if he tried to reach out for that one.
Oh, yeah, you know that guy, don't you?
Yeah, he does a lot of our games.
Here's the pitch line. Caught by the shortstop, Garcia. Diving catch. Garcia saved a base hit right there. And a perfect inning for the Seminoles, or the Raiders. No runs on no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. Now we go to the top half of inning number 3, where it'll be 3, 4, and 5. Teixeira, Gabriel, and Draney. Gulliver Prep leads it 2 8-0. Kelly Neff along with Mike Estes. Well, we've gone through the entire lineup. Let's talk about that flex player now. Do you look for well, how should I put this? A poor hitter who can play defense sometimes.
Not always. What a lot of times happens is I may have 12, like my situation this year. I think I've got 18 kids on the lineup. On the roster, they all can hit. And it's a situation where a lot of times I may use a kid who might be the fastest outfielder. So I want her out there, even if she may not be the best hitter at the time. Maybe she's struggling. But it gives me an interchangeable part. So if I want her to be able to hit, I can just put her in for who I have in that DP spot, or have her base run for the DP. And because they become like the same person. So I also try to rotate those players so nobody's necessarily stuck, always be in the flex or always be in the DP. I try to filter that in and out. But then superstition sets in, and toward the end of the year, as we get into the playoffs, I stay with what I've been using.
Yes, you got to do that. Here comes Stephanie Teixeira, RBI double her first time up. Teixeira, as you mentioned yesterday, 1 out of 2 with a home run, hits the first pitch, and Schofield, the third baseman, gets under it. 1 gone quickly in the 3rd inning.
And she just missed it.
And here comes Christina Gabriel. She's the one that hit that ball that went off the left fielder's glove last time for an error. Gabriel was 0 for 3 yesterday. They had that semifinal win, 9-4 over Bishop Faroe. There's a swing and a miss. So on the players that don't bat, in the case of this Florida Seminole team, is the catcher, Lindsey Fuller, who has not batted at all this year. She's never had an at-bat, but she's played every game. Here's one grounded towards second. We'll hold that throw hold that thought as the play's made over at first base, and Gabriel is gone. Here's Gabriella Draney. Draney, the right fielder yesterday, 0 for 2. Players love offense, so do they gripe a lot when they don't bat?
I've never really had a problem. If they do, they probably keep it in the dugout. It doesn't come to me. I'm sure with just out of pure numbers, you got to have some kids that get upset.
And we have our 6th foul ball on the screens. Definitely a state championship record. Here's the 0-1 down low, ball 1, 1 ball, 1 strike. Here you got a situation where you have a 8th grade catcher. Now that is very odd to get in the championship game with an 8th grade catcher, isn't it?
Yeah, it's such an important position.
There's a high leap and a grab by the shortstop, Amber Dozier. No runs on no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. They have the big stick out. They're getting all those balls off there. We're going now to the home half of inning number 3, 7, 8, and 9. Rossman, Rozier, and Williams out there to face Christina Gabriel. You saw both of these pitchers yesterday, and are they showing you anything new here?
No, again, Rossman throwing great. Like you said, she was how many strikeouts? 5 or 6 already?
So far in the ball game, yes, she has 5.
Right. And yesterday she was pretty dominant. They couldn't touch the rise ball, and she kept going to it with 2 strikes. They didn't make an adjustment, and she pretty much dominated just in that respect. And then Gabriel, again, threw a good off-speed pitches, her rise ball and her curve ball. And again, at this point in the season, they're so focused on what their task is at the moment. I think they're going to have very good games.
Taylor Rossman pitched a 1-hitter yesterday in their 1-0 victory over Keystone Heights. That was in the semifinals. Rossman's the only senior in this starting lineup. Struck out at least 1 batter in each of the 7 innings. Recorded 9 strikeouts altogether. The only hit that she gave up was an infield single, and she walked just 1. You talk about a dominating performance. That's pretty doggone good.
Yeah, and if I remember correctly, the infield single was either a bunt or a slap. It was a slow roller.
Well, you're right about Rossman being a Jacksonville University signee. So I don't, they're not right in our backyard, so I don't usually follow them that much, but they have a pretty good team?
Yeah, they're a solid team. They had a coaching change last year, and I actually have my travel ball catcher. We'll be going to them after next year, after her senior year of high school.
Okay.
I know they're making a good push at a good recruiting class coming up.
So the Florida Seminoles will send numbers 7, 8, and 9 up to the plate. Here comes Taylor Rossman. We're just talking about her, hitting .352, no home runs, 5 driven in. Will they let her hit in college?
I'm going to say no. Well, you never know, but a lot of colleges, they don't want that kid getting hurt.
Going foul back. So, young lady, enjoy this game with the bat because you may not ever pick one up again.
Yeah, there's very few. Alabama lets trainer lets her hit, and a couple other schools. You know, Florida lets their freshman Hager that hasn't even, when she isn't pitching, they let her hit.
Here's one hit deep to left field. And coming over to make the catch is Taylor Rossman, or excuse me, it's the left fielder, Sammy Lujan. 7 up, 7 down, and we go to the number 8 batter. This is Taylor Rozier, hitting .298, no home runs, 6 driven in. Rozier is the first baseman. And, of course, the Florida Seminoles from the state capital. A lot of politicians roaming around town. I hope they don't, boggle the minds of all these young ladies with the things politicians do.
I'm going to say that they have no clue. Meaning the players. They don't know. That was a Freudian slip, wasn't it?
I think both ways you're probably surely telling the truth on that.
Another 8th grader here hitting.
Here's the pitch. That was an off-speed pitch. That's going to be a strike call. It's 1-1. She's hitting .298. No home runs, 6 runs driven in. See the catcher, Victoria Rios, looking more like a hockey goalie with that mask she has. Here's the pitch. And that one misses high, and it's now 2 balls and a strike. Or are they all like that? Look at, do you guys use masks?
Yeah,
like
we
that?
use the hockey style mask. The kids like them a lot better. And actually, in Florida high school softball, in high school you can't use a 2-piece mask anymore.
There's a strike call. It's now 2 balls, 2 strikes. The olden days of baseball, like the Yogi Berra era, they just wore like a batting helmet, didn't they? Or
yeah, they used what they called a skull cap.
Skull cap.
Yeah, skull cap, and then they had a mask basically the same as what this umpire has on.
Here's the 2-2. And that one misses outside, 3-2. So you saw Victoria Rios. And Christina Gabriel, who is not allowed a base runner yet, has gone 3-2.
Yeah, as you see, like the umpire's mask right there, that's typically what they, a lot of the major leaguers used to wear. And some of them still do, and they use a batting helmet backwards underneath it.
Okay. There's a swing and a miss down on strikes. Goes Rozier. 3 strikeouts. And here comes Jade Williams, 303 on the year, no home runs, 8 driven in. So that's not a cloth cap the umpire wears underneath.
Well, he has one. Yeah, I mean he has a regular hat underneath.
And he has a liner inside.
No, not for him. The bill of their hat is actually shorter than like a normal hat because for doing the plate, so the mask doesn't hit it gets closer to their face. It doesn't stick, protrude out, I guess would be the best way to put it. But in baseball, what I was saying is the catcher uses the helmet.
Okay. Here's the 0-1 delivery to Williams. And she squares, lets it go, and it's a little high. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1 ball. I can tell you my age. I remember the balloon protectors the umpires used to wear.
Mm-hmm.
They could never call low pitches because they can't get down that low.
Yeah, they were actually on the outside of the shirts.
Yeah. Here's the 1-1. Yeah, when swung on a miss. These guys wear smaller condensed versions, but it's inside the shirt. Right,
and actually they absorb so much more of a shock now. And they're more comfortable, and these guys do a lot of games in the heat, and these are a lot better for them, I'm sure.
1 ball, 2 strikes, and that one misses outside low, and it's 2-2. They seem to be mobile enough to get around. It must not be bulky in there.
No, as you can tell in his, it almost looks like a rib cage, more or less.
Kind of like the equivalent of a bulletproof vest.
There you go.
There's the 2-2 up and in. It's now 3-2.
Kelly, you probably remember the umpire. You were talking about the chest protectors on the outside in major leagues. At that same time, if you remember, those umpires wore like sport jackets.
That's right.
As umpires. Right. I can't imagine doing a summer game, like in St. Louis or someplace.
Wow. Here's the 3-2, and she slaps that one foul. They probably lost 20 pounds a game.
I would imagine. I mean, I can't even fathom that.
3-2 the count. So do you see the umpire right there is sweating a little bit. See him flick some moisture off of his face. They have that little thing that goes down in the front, and we'll talk about that a little bit because that used to serve a purpose. Now, nobody uses it anymore. There's a pitch down low. And the Seminoles, they're going to ask if she went. No, she did not. So you wait until the number 9 batter to get your first base runner of the ball game.
And that's actually kind of a, that's good in a way. One, at least she worked the count. She's on base, and now you get to the top of the order. Maybe you can get right back in the game.
KK Nixon drew the collar 0 for 3 in Florida High's 1-0 victory in the semifinals last night. Or actually yesterday afternoon. That one hop. Oh, took a bad hop on the shortstop, Garcia. So everybody's going to be safe all around. Runners at first and second now with 2 outs. And here comes Brooklyn McLamory. She had a good game yesterday. 2 for 3, couple singles, runs scored. McLamory with an opportunity to drive in a run. It's a 2-0 game in favor of Gulliver. We took a look at that umpire, and he has an extension at the bottom of his mask that was actually invented by current Anaheim or Los Angeles Angels. You see it right there. Anaheim Angels manager Mike Socia. Here's one hit in the air, and not giving us enough time to get our stories in. Here's a fly ball to center. Camping under it is the center fielder Grossman, and the inning is over here in the home half of the third. No runs, no hits, no errors, and there was did they count that a hit, that Nixon hit? Well, we'll have to wait and see. And 2 runners left on base. Now we'll go to the top half of the 4th inning. It will be Garcia, DeSolo, and Rios to see if they can get a few more against Taylor Rossman. Kelly Neff along with Mike Estes, and just to finish our conversation about umpires, they have that extension at the bottom. It's a metal extension. Mike Socia once got hit with a fragment of a broken bat right in the throat. So he invented that part of the mask, and used to, and all catchers used to, have some kind of a leather thing under there to protect their throat, but nobody uses that anymore. Not
too much because of the new style mask. Even if we get a shot at the catcher here, I'm not sure if she has one. I know a couple of masks still, you can actually add them on to this day. It's to help, even foul balls that hit the ground come up underneath your mask might get you in the throat.
The umpire has one, but he doesn't have the leather thing hanging from it like you see some of them.
Right.
So we're going now to the top half of inning number 4. And the scoreboard, we don't see any decision yet on that sharp ground ball to Garcia at shortstop. So we'll have to wait until they make the decision on that.
Yeah, as of right now, it's still a no-hitter.
Yes, it is. That's going to play into their mind. What's the old axiom? It better be a clean hit on the first hit of the ball game. All right, we're ready to go. It'll be number 6, 7, and 8, Garcia, DeSolo, and Rios. Garcia, yesterday was 1 for 2. She actually scored 3 runs because she walked twice. She had a single. And with 1 ball, no strikes, she'll step out and get herself a couple practice swings. Well, the Raiders have 3 base hits. Here's one pop foul and out of play. Got all the other balls off of there with that big long stick. Now they're going to work on getting a few more up there. Number 29, Garcia, struck out her last time up. Rossman struck out 5 of the first 9 batters she faced, and hasn't struck out anybody since the second out of the second inning. Here we are in the top of the 4th. Rossman to deliver, and that one will be down low. You can hear from our crowd, Mike, there's a whole bunch of singing going on in that Raiders dugout now. There they go. They have more energy than we do. Here's what hit the right field. And sometimes you can hit it hard enough where the right fielder might have a play on you at first base, but not in this case. 4th base hit of the ball game for the Raiders, and here comes Sophie DeSolo. She struck out her last time up. DeSolo, though, yesterday had an excellent game. Drove in 2 runs, had a pair of doubles. Designated player. They had as a team 4 doubles, a triple, and a home run. They only had 3 singles on their hits. She bunts it foul behind the plate. They had 9 base hits, and 6 of them were for extra bases.
Yeah, and here's a softball strategy for you. You got to a kid that's pounding the ball yesterday, and now in your situation with Rossman in the circle, they're going to work for another run, which is, what you have to do at this point. There's no more games tomorrow,
Yes, even your, say your gap hitters or your better power hitters. Here's a throw down to second on the steal attempt, and in there sliding head first it is Crystal Garcia. Do you make sure everybody knows how to bunt?
Oh yeah,
even the ones that might never be called on.
Yes, everybody knows how to bunt. Even if they're not good at it, they go through all the same drills as everybody else who is a good bunter.
And I'm not sure why Crystal Garcia is going back to home or going back to the dugout.
Oh, she might have got called for leaving early.
That might be it. Okay, because there is nobody on base now. You're evaluating these things pretty good. You're saving me tonight. All right, so they did call her out on the play. So there's one out, nobody on. That was a pretty late call. We didn't see the umpire. Maybe we're going to have to look at these men in blue a little closer. 0-2 the count on DeSolo. And there is strike three call.
I never saw a tag, so I don't know what they had to have called her out maybe for leaving early.
That must have been it.
Either that or maybe they called her for a circle violation. She got off the bag and the ball went back to the circle.
6 strikeouts now for Rossman and 2 gone. And here comes Victoria Rios. Yesterday in the semifinals, she had an excellent day. She was 2 for 4 with a couple doubles. She even stole a base, scored a run, drove in a run, fouls that one away.
That almost got the Bright House camera guy on the right field line.
Well, those guys aren't safe anywhere. Didn't one get hit in the head the other day?
Yeah, he was at the cameraman behind the third base dugout.
Wow.
Took one in the nose off of the top of the dugout.
Bright House, you may be our friend. Do you have workers' comp? These guys might need it. Here comes the 0-1. The job I wouldn't want to have, I'll tell you about it in a minute. There's a pitch inside. When you watch Saturday afternoon college football, and there's this guy behind the goalpost way up there filming or working for TV or something, and some of those field goal kickers get that thing way up there. I mean, you better watch out.
Yeah, anything with heights I'm not good with anyway.
I don't even like being this tall. Here's the 2-1. Rios is the catcher. Only 3 seniors in the starting lineup for the Raiders and a couple of freshmen. 2 balls and a strike on Victoria Rios. Pitcher is Taylor Rossman, who settled down after that rough first inning. And it's now 2-2. Gave up 2 runs in that first inning, couple of base hits. There was an error in there. There was a wild pitch. Since then, she's given up that double by Leon in the second inning, the single by Garcia here, but then the out call made on her on the base paths. There's one inside. And the count goes to 2-2.
Yeah, she's now starting to hit her spots, a lot better. Again, I think nerves in the first inning, and she, settled in, realized how to fix her mechanics, and, get the ball to the catcher where the catcher needs it.
Here's one grounded, one hop to third. Schofield has to throw wide of first base. And safe at first base will be Victoria Rios. Probably be an error on the third baseman as Taryn Bray steps in. Well, yesterday against Keystone Heights, Rossman pitched all 7 innings. Just had that 1 hit, walked 2, struck out 9. Did throw 1 wild pitch. Didn't walk anybody. And had 5 flyouts and 7 groundouts. So the error on the third baseman allows the Raiders to get a 2-out base runner. And this brings up Taryn Bray. Bray yesterday, a single and a stolen base in 4 at-bats. There's one fouled straight back. Explain again, the runner can't leave until, is it the ball leaves her hand or leaves the circle?
Leaves her hand on release.
And it's the first base umpire's responsibility to watch that?
Yes. Yeah, if she's at first. Or
right, okay.
Yeah, depending on the runner.
Here's the ball slapped foul. And the count remains 0-2.
Yeah, the hardest one for an umpire to call in my mind is when he's when he's in the what they call the slot over here at shortstop, and it's only a two-man crew, and he's got to be able to see the pitcher and the runner at second base.
Here's the pitch hit in the air. Who's going to get it? Third baseman comes over next to the circle, and Schofield makes the catch. So the error doesn't come back to haunt the Raiders, or excuse me, the Seminoles. No runs on one hit. There was one error and one runner left on base. Moving right along, we go to the bottom of the fourth. 3, 4, and 5. Dozier, Schofield, and Jenkins to face Christina Gabriel. Well, Gulliver Prep this year had a couple of early season losses and a few of them late in the season. They lost 12-2 to Niceville. And a lot of people lose 12-2 to Niceville.
Yes, sir.
Then they lost 3-1 to Wood Creek High School out of California. Then lost a 1-0 game to Timber Creek. They lost a 5-4 game to Palm Beach Gardens and lost 16-0 to Palm Beach Gardens late in the year. That's the Gulliver Prep's losses for the season. Now, as far as the young ladies from Florida High, they lost their season opener to the Liberty County 8-7. Then lost a 2-1 game to Bishop Snyder, who was in the finals in their class. 10-0. They lost to Wakulla County. 2-0. They lost to West Nassau. Then lost their last game before districts, 3-0 to Lincoln. Then they're here in the championship, coach, in an odd position because they did not win their district. They lost 5-1 to Madison County.
Yeah, that's happens once in a while, and it's it's one of those things where they make adjustments, and who knows, maybe that game they had a couple plays not go their way in that district final, and then they were able to correct it and took care of them. They would have played them in the regional final.
Yeah. And they won that one, obviously. Of course they won that one, as they beat them 4-0 second time around. The regional wins 5-1 against Mariana, then that 4-0 against Madison County, 1-0 against the West Nassau. Here we go now to the bottom half of inning number 4. It is Amber Dozier, Ashley Schofield, Sydney Jenkins. Dozier struck out her last time up. Dozier yesterday 1 out of 3, had a single in that victory they had over Keystone Heights. Facing Christina Gabriel, we had an illegal pitch.
Yeah.
Well, we had some of those yesterday too. I want to explain what was she doing? Did you catch it?
Yeah, she must have what they would either call a crow hop or a leap. If it got called from the first base umpire, that's the only thing he can really call. So basically, when she strides out with her left foot, her right foot is supposed to stay in contact with the ground and drag her toe. And if he sees enough air in between, he's going to call an illegal pitch.
Taylor Rossman had one on her earlier in the ball game, and on the pitch there was an out recorded. So in that particular case, the batter got to come back to the plate. So what's the umpire screams the illegal pitch? How do they signal it?
Yeah, he'll put his right arm straight out and yell illegal.
But she should tell the batter to swing anyway, just in case, right?
Sure, you hit a home run, it counts.
Just like a balk in baseball.
Yep.
Here's the 2-1 delivery. That's a let-up pitch that is hit to right field, and Draney's not going to be able to get to that one. It rolls all the way to the fence. This will be at least a 3-base hit, and that is all she's going to get. A leadoff triple. Well, if you're trying to battle back from a 2-0 deficit, that's a good way to do it. A leadoff triple by Amber Dozier. Dozier's second triple of the season. She has 12 extra base hits.
It's a great hustle by the center fielder to get that ball in.
That one went all the way to the fence. Here comes Ashley Schofield. She was 0 for 2 yesterday. She's 0 for 1 today. Popped out to the second baseman her last time up. Gelinoff along with Mike Estes from East Lake High School. It's been a fun week. Been able to see some good games.
Yeah, I've totally enjoyed it. This has been a real good time for me. I've enjoyed it.
Here's the delivery, and that one's hit in the air towards left field. Lou Hahn going to make the catch. They're going to tag the runner. The kind of a weak throw, but they finally get the relay in, but not in time. In to score comes Dozier on the sacrifice fly by Ashley Schofield.
And the umpire actually, had the player been called out at the plate, had there been a tag, the plate umpire actually had obstruction on the catcher called, and the ball wasn't there yet. She was blocking the base without the ball. He had his left arm straight out, so he already had obstruction called.
So it would have counted anyway.
Right. Had she been thrown out, he would have had her called safe.
Sydney Jenkins 2 for 3 yesterday with a couple of single steps in. You know, we talked about that in one of the broadcasts earlier in the week. Here's the pitch, and that's grounded towards second. Second baseman Bray has it and makes the play on Jenkins. 2 gone in the 4th inning. Here's Courtney Davis. Davis yesterday 0 for 2, but did drive in a run. She had a sacrifice fly in that game. So the obstruction in baseball, or at least in Major League Baseball, no, you can block the play. You can stand right there where the baseline intersects with home plate. You can't do that in softball, huh?
Not in high school softball.
Here's the ball popped up to the shortstop in shallow left field. Garcia makes the catch. And we shall elaborate here. 1 run on 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left on base. Moving right along, we're to the top half of the 5th inning. 1, 2, and 3. Leon, Grossman, and Teixeira set to face Taylor Rossman. So where does the catcher, you want her in front of the plate then?
Well, you know, she can start out there, and then as she's getting ready to make the play, then once she has the ball, then she can get into the baseline. You know, it's a safety thing, especially at the plate, but they typically have it at every base. It's the same thing. You can't block the base without the ball. You'll see a lot of first basemen, they won't be paying attention. The ball get hit to the outfield, and they'll kind of just stand there, and it's obstruction at that point. And then if the kid, she's not awarded second base typically, but if in that umpire's judgment, her impeding her, and she goes on to second, you know, she could be called safe in his judgment. And then that play at the plate there, if he already had obstruction, she was going to be called safe. There's no other bases to run to.
Okay. 2 runs, 4 hits, no errors for the Raiders. 1 run, 2 hits, and 2 errors for the Seminoles as we go now to the top half of the 5th inning. Here comes Ashley Leon. Leon, a junior, and Coach Schusterman's lineup, already 2 for 2 in this game. She got herself a single up the middle and a double up the middle. So I would kind of move my shortstop and second baseman a little closer if it's one of those spray charts or whatever.
Looking at your spray chart, it tells you. Or even just your pitching chart, you see where the outs go. If they're all, 6 to 3, 4 to 3, that's where you go.
Well, you take a look at the resume for Coach Schusterman. Takes up a full page every single year since 1987. Here's the pitch hit in the air towards right field. Drifting over and making the catch is McLamory. 1 pitch, 1 out in this 5th inning. Here comes Dominique Grossman, a senior center fielder. I won't go through it, but they've been at least a district champion. If I read this right, at least a district champion every single year from 1987 through this year. They've never had a losing season under Coach Schusterman. And he has a 16-16 record 1 year. But that's a year they made the state Final Four.
Yeah, he's a slacker.
Here's the pitch, swung on and missed. It's 0-2. 1 year, they had 31 wins. That was 2 years ago, or that was last year. Because we have a little typo here. I'm sure they didn't win 273 games in 2010. They won't let you play that many, will they?
That's a long season.
Yes, it is. Here's a swing and a miss. Ball gets away from the catcher with a fire down to first base. Strikeout number 7.
I think it's supposed to be 27-3-1.
Oh yeah, you can get a tie occasionally, right?
Yeah, they run out of lights, and if the game does, either it gets real dark or that field they play at might have a curfew. And if it's not a district or conference game or something like that, they won't make it up.
So what will constitute a curfew?
If you play at like a city park and there's houses around.
It only plays past a certain time.
Right, and some of the couple of the high schools where we play, they don't have their own field, and they use a city or a county park, and they actually have a timer on the lights.
Oh my!
So it goes out at a certain time. You're not going to finish the game.
Here comes Teixeira, junior first baseman, left-handed batter. That one misses upstairs, and it's 1-1. Kelly Neff along with Mike Estes from East Lake High School. Second to the last championship game of the season. We'll have the 8A championship for you a little while later. Half swung and foul back. In fact, some people down in the area of Durant or Palmetto are wondering why we're not into their game already. Well, we had a 2.5 hour rain delay, lightning delay. We weren't sure in that lightning delay if we were going to get any rain at all. Finally, the rain came. So it turned into a lovely evening.
Yeah, the rain was in and out of here pretty quick. Didn't rain real hard. Kept the field real nice.
Yeah, no puddles or anything like we saw earlier in the week. Here's the 2-2. And that one is hit on the line to right field over everybody's head. Bounces up against the wall as McLamory comes up with it. And it is a 2-out double by Stephanie Teixeira. Teixeira had a double to left field the first inning, now a double to right field here.
Yeah, she has a sweet swing, just a sweet swing.
Here comes Christina Gabriel. Gabriel is 0 for 2, but she did put the ball in play both times. Hit a fly ball to left field where Nixon couldn't play it correctly. And then grounded out to second her last time up. Senior pitcher. Now let's see if she's a senior pitcher. They're working on Gabby Draney to take her place. I would think she's the only other one that's pitched. Fly ball, right field. Who's going to get to it? Center fielder drops the ball. With 2 outs, Teixeira was on the run. That ball carried a lot further than I thought it would.
Yeah, and the flag's just hanging limp out there. There's no wind.
So for the second time in this game, Gabriel has hit a fly ball that's been dropped by an outfielder. Yeah, they got that run back. It's now 3-1. And here comes Gabriela Draney. 0 for 2. They're going to have a runner at second base. It'll be number 9, Paola Proctor. Paola Proctor will run.
And Draney came in and pitched the last inning yesterday for Gulliver Prep once they had a comfortable lead.
One inning's not enough to evaluate how good she might be, huh?
She was a little nervous. I think she either walked the first batter or first 2 batters, and then she settled down and got out of the inning. She did a good job.
Here's Draney. Draney, the right fielder, will hit this one in the air towards left. And playing it perfectly is KK Nixon for the out. But because of the double and the error, Gulliver Prep comes up with another run. 1 run, 1 hit, 1 error, 1 runner left on base. We're heading to the bottom half of the 5th inning. It is now a 3-1 lead for Gulliver Prep. It'll be 7, 8, and 9. Rossman, Rozier, and Williams to face Christina Gabriel. And we're talking about postseason. Gulliver Prep had to win a couple of district games. 15-0 over Coral Shores and 11-1 over Key West. Their regional wins were 17-0 over Doral, 2-1 in 8 innings over Ransom Everglades, and they beat the University School 3-0. Then in the semifinal, that 9-4 victory over Bishop Verreau. Meanwhile, Florida High won 16-0. They only had to win 1 district game over East Gadsden, and they lost the district championship game. Well, obviously, I have a typo. It's not 65-1. It's either 6-1 or 5-1 over Madison County. Then they beat Mariana, Madison County, and West Nassau in the regionals and beat Keystone Heights 1-0. I was a little groggy when I was typing that up this morning, real early.
Well, if you look at those scores, I mean, Rossman is only, I'm sure she's pitched all those games. It looks like, what, only 2 runs in the postseason?
Yeah.
That's impressive.
And 1 here, so that's 3 total. Or 3 here.
Number 7, the pitcher.
Here comes Gabriel to face Rossman. Rossman, yesterday, 0 for 3. Young lady left 4 runners on base during her times at bat. What she needs to do here is get on base to start a rally. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning already. Second game's not scheduled to start till 9:30, but I would think if this gets over early, they'll start earlier in that. You think so?
I think they were talking about trying to push it up if they could.
Here's the pitch, and that's grounded towards short. Garcia scoops it up and fires to first.
Since the game's, messed up my eating yesterday, I don't want it to mess up my sleeping today,
You can get your steaks in. Well, you can't get it. Everything's going to be closed by the time you leave here.
Yeah. I'm starting to sound like I'm high maintenance.
Yes, you are. I'll tell you. Mrs. Estes probably Has to work double shifts to pay your steak bill. Here comes Taylor Rozier. Rozier yesterday was 0 for 2. First baseman takes a strike. She struck out her last time up. So far, Gabriel has struck out 3, but hasn't struck anybody out since this young lady back in the third inning. There's one's fouled away, and it's 0-2. So we're talking about the length of the fences here, and we still don't know. Most high school fields are 200. This being used a lot by college teams in the course of a calendar year is probably a little deeper than that, isn't it?
Yeah, it kind of looks deeper. I'm not sure if it is. You know, it's hard to say.
Here's the 0-2 now from Gabriel. She rocks and fires one outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
You know, Gabriel's 11 shutouts during the season. That's a good season. That's taking a lot of pressure off of your team.
Yes, it does. There's the delivery, and that one will be fouled straight back. I was going to see how many or which team she shut out, but here it is. And she struck out or shut out Coral Shores and Mosley, Bob Jones, Coral Springs Charter, Davis from California. Struck out or shut out 2 of the teams from California that they played. Here's the 2-2 coming up.
I'm feeling raindrops, Kelly.
Uh-oh, are you? Well, let's move the table. It's probably just raining right in that spot. Yep, I feel a couple of them as well. Where's our umbrella? There it is. 2-2, and that one is fouled back. Well, they said it's going to rain again about 7. A little late on that one, 7:41. 2-2 in a 3-1 ball game. We're in the top of the 5th inning. Because I'm not sure if it did. It doesn't look like a lot of rain clouds up there. If it did rain, what their schedule would be for the 8A championship. Here's the 2-2. That one, they're going to call it? Nope, they're not. It's 3-2.
Fans were begging for it, a couple of them anyway.
All those umpires from Gulliver Prep were calling that a strikeout.
Yeah, they must have already all pushed all their indicators.
Here comes the 3-2 delivery. Yep, I feel a little raindrops falling on my head too. Here's the 3-2. That one's down low. They didn't get either of those calls.
Yeah, that was a good call though. That was definitely low.
That is the second walk issued by Gabriel, and they came to the number 9 and 8 hitters.
There come all the good cliches, Kelly. Missing a good game, all that stuff. You get to hear them all.
Here's Jade Williams. My dad used to, even being an umpire, he used to get on umpires. And one of his favorites was, "I've seen better eyes on a potato." I thought that was a pretty good one. There's the ball popping out of the catcher, Victoria Rios' glove. 1-0. He used to yell, "Kick your dog, ump, he's lying to you."
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
The people use that. Yes, a universal one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Here comes the delivery from Gabriel. Rain's starting to come a little bit harder. There's the pitch up high.
Yeah, the one I'll yell out from the dugout to our catcher every once in a while. "Hey, are you catching with a glove today or a mailbox?"
Okay.
That way the umpire doesn't know if it's him I'm talking about or what.
Uh-huh. Pretty clever. Here's the 2-0, and that one sails high, and it's 3-0. Excuse me while I get my hat on. Can't get this hair all wet, you know.
Yeah, in case you're on TV later, you don't want to be all messed up.
Swing that camera around, we may not know it. Yeah, that looks spiffy. Here's the 3-0. She bunts it, foul, and that's 3-1. 3 balls, 1 strike on Jade Williams.
Yeah, there's a key spot in their lineup right now. They want to get to the top of the order, and 3-1 count in her favor.
Williams is 0 for 2 yesterday. She's 0 for 0 today. She drew a walk, and she had a weak little swing at that one. It's now 3-2. Williams, little left-handed batter, runner at first base, 3-1. Gulliver Prep with the lead at this point. This is the 4A championship game. There's the 3-1 or 3-2 and a slap foul. And the count stays the same. And they're going to call her out. Was she out of the box?
She was either out of the box or he didn't call it a full swing.
Or called it a bunt?
Yeah, I don't agree. He must have called her out of the box. That's what I saw. I saw her front foot out of the box and she made contact. Ball doesn't have to be fair.
Okay, so it's not going to go as a strikeout. It'll go as a catcher unassisted. Here comes KK Nixon. Nixon, a freshman, as your leadoff batter. And she will take a strike. Nixon struck out her first time up. Reached base in the third inning, though. Did so on a air, and I forgot to mark down who the air was against. There's the ball popped in the air. And on the run is the third baseman, Ashley Leon, to make the catch. So they get out of that. No runs, no hits, no errors, one runner left on base. We'll go now to the top half of the sixth inning. It'll be Garcia, DeSolo, and Rios as we head to the sixth inning and get the umbrella so we keep all of our score sheets dry. Us, it doesn't matter, but the equipment and the score sheets, Coach, can't write on wet paper. You know, there was something I was talking about.
I can't write on dry paper.
a little grade school problems there when you're learning your ABCs.
Well, let's just, third grade are the 3 longest years of my life.
Here comes the top half of the sixth inning. One of the things I was wondering about, late in the game, get to the bottom of the order usually. You might call on a pinch hitter to come up and try and get your team going. Those guys have tough jobs. I mean, they sit and sit for 5-6 innings, and then you call on them to do something. That's difficult, isn't it?
Oh yeah, and what I do during the season is I'll figure out which 3 or 4 kids that I can definitely call on against certain pitchers. I may know who has better success against certain pitchers in our conference and stuff. And I'll make sure they know ahead of time about the 4th inning. I have them swinging, taking some warm-up swings every inning. I just tell them, hey, you get loose every inning from this point until the game's over.
Okay. Here's Rossman out on the mound again. She's down 3-1. She'll be facing Crystal Garcia, Sophie DeSolo, and Victoria Rios. This Gulliver prep team. Not what you call one of the brand new schools in Florida. It was opened in 1975. Pitch down low, 1 ball, no strikes. It's in Miami-Dade County, actually in the town of, the development of Pinecrest. I'm not that familiar with whether that's an actual city or not. Foul back, and it's 1-1.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. They just have it listed there, and then it's Miami-Dade.
2,200 students enrolled. They have 4 campuses. 45 countries are represented. There's the ball, and it goes behind the third baseman. Third baseman Schofield was coming in, but it fouled.
Yeah, it's actually a foul ball.
Wow, Schofield was running in when the ball popped overhead. It bounced and then went into foul territory. Let's explain that a little bit, because I know in the regional final, when I was at Trinity Prep watching that one, there was a talk about whether a ball was fair or foul. If it passes the bag fair and hits in fair territory, then it's fair. Otherwise, it's going to be foul, right?
Correct.
Sometimes it's very close. Those umpires have a very tough job trying to figure out whether they are fair or foul sometimes.
Yeah, it's a split second decision, and that call there was probably one of your easier ones. But when the ball's really hit hard, it becomes like a snap decision. You got to miss.
After the strikeout to Garcia, here comes DeSolo, who struck out twice already. And she'll hit this one to right field. And making the catch, McLamory. And there's 2 gone. When you have a little drizzle like this and you have to look up for a long time like a right fielder, it's amazing that they don't get the a blurred eye.
I've actually seen it happen, but yeah, it seems like you're right. It should happen more often than what it actually does.
She had no trouble with that one. Here's Victoria Rios, 0 for 2, and a strike called.
But the kids are probably, at least on our team, they're taught to use their glove the same as it would if it was in the sun. You know, block the rain with your glove and say you have to make the catch the same as if it was sunshine.
That's a good way to do it. Here's Rios. She'll hit that one right around second base. And the shortstop, Dozier, calls everybody off and makes the catch. It's a 1-2-3 inning. The second one of those that Rossman has had. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. Well, we're going now to the bottom half of the sixth inning. Time is running out on the Seminoles, Coach. They got to get something going here pretty soon.
Yeah, they're down to 6 outs. There I am with that amazing math again today.
You may not be able to write, but you can certainly count. Florida Seminoles at 21-6 on the year. You see their team gathered around. What do you call your players around you when they come in like that every inning?
Not every inning. Every now and then I may, you know, if I'm not happy with something that's going on or they're not sticking to game plan or something like that, you know, yeah, I will. But typically, no. I talk maybe more to the pitcher and catcher than I do anybody else. And I have 3 other coaches that are excellent, and they handle the majority of, you know, those things anyway in between innings. You know, and a lot of what we do is done at practice, and there won't, you know, we try not to overcoach because there is such a thing.
Games won and lost at practice?
I truly believe so, yeah.
Well, we're ready to go. The rain's still coming down. Now the umbrellas are starting to come out.
Yeah, a few people are going to run under this area here by the concession stand and try to stay dry.
I am glad we brought this umbrella.
Oh, I'm glad you brought this umbrella.
Yeah. Glad the Florida High School Athletic Association actually borrowed it. It's not raining hard enough for anything to be called yet.
Yeah, they definitely want to try and get this in. They don't want to go to another delay. But you also don't want it to affect the outcome of the game, and I'm sure that's in the minds of everybody here.
Well, now they're going to ask some of the people not to open up their umbrellas because it's hard to see from this press box. The angle is not that good in some cases. Well, I know the FHSAA network is glad that we have a umbrella over our monitor here.
Yeah, I'm sure they're very pleased with that.
Here's McLamory. She'll take a pitch down low. They had to borrow our umbrella. They did something earlier, and nobody had an umbrella. Here we are, always at the ready, aren't we?
Yeah, that's experience right there.
Yep.
That's what you call that.
3-1 lead. Seminoles are trying to see what they can do to get that alleviated a bit, fouled away. Yeah, some of the fans have left a little bit and actually moved to drier ground. In Central Florida, you can go a month and a half without any rain. Then the state softball tournament starts, and here it all comes. Here's a 3-1 up high.
Yeah, got a lot of rain last year.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah. Remember the last day of the tournament last year? Wow. 2 balls and a strike. 3 runs for Gulliver, 2 in the first, 1 in the 5th. There's a half swing. Did they gonna call it? Yep, they are. It's now 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Now here's the key, you know, from experience is which pitcher is going to be able to throw a wet ball better, and how wetter, is the ball going to be getting. And then, of course, they'll put in a dry ball every time she asks, but it'll be key to see who throws the wet ball a little bit better.
Here's the 2-2. That is grounded up the middle. And a leadoff single by Brooklyn McLamory. That brings us to Amber Dozier.
That's big right there, big.
Yes, it is. Get that leadoff batter on, man, you can do a lot of things. Can the pitcher ask for, will they give her a towel like they do, in the NFL?
Typically what they'll want to do is throw the ball into the dugout, and the coach needs to have a towel on their side. He'll dry the ball and get it back to her. She's using her jersey quite a bit. They typically don't like a towel. I mean, she can put it behind her back or something, but they don't want it as any kind of distraction out there.
Runner at first base, pitch is hit in the air. Right fielder comes in, and Draney makes the catch. Dozier going after the first pitch, flies out to right, and here's Ashley Schofield. Did a sacrifice flyer last time up for their only run of the ball game to this point.
Yeah, and the other, as you can see, Gabriel wiping her hands on her pants, trying to make sure they're staying dry.
Get late in the game, a 2-run game, a wild pitch here and there could really affect an outcome. There's a pitch and it's fouled back. 0-1. A lot of rain moved through the area, but actually they're sort of fortunate. I mean, they had a 2.5-hour delay, but a lot of the heaviest rain went to the, was that south over there?
Yeah, south of us, yes.
Yeah. Here's the 0-1, change up. Strike call is 0-2. Get into a rain, does an umpire's strike zone get wider, you think?
No, I would seriously doubt it.
Here comes the 0-2 delivery as the pitcher, Gabriel, fires, and there's one hit to right field again. It's been a busy inning over there for right fielder Gabby Draney. And here comes Sydney Jenkins. 0 for 2's hit a couple of them to second base.
A designated player, number 29.
Runner at first base, led off with a single. Still there with 2 outs.
Yeah, one of the things you want to look for here is if there is a base hit to the outfield, the outfielders have got to be, really smart about how they throw the ball here, because it's definitely going to be wet coming off that grass now.
Here's the pitch. Grounded up the middle, and second baseman's going to get it to short. Wow, nice quick throw by second baseman Taryn Bray to Crystal Garcia to force the runner at second base. So the leadoff single does no harm. No runs on a hit, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. We're now going to the 7th inning as we continue to have a bit of a drizzle here. About ready to crown a champion. Will it be Gulliver Prep again? Gulliver Prep trying for a 3-peat. They'll be sending up numbers 9, 1, and 2. That'll be Bray, Leone, and Grossman. You don't get a lot of 3-peats state tournament.
It's hard. Like I said, it's hard to get here one time, and much less to be able to win 3 times in a row.
Just made the announcement that the next game is scheduled to start at 9:35. Of course, this one might not be completely over yet. Here comes Gulliver Prep up to the plate. We're talking about Florida High. It's a charter school. What's that different from a public school, a charter school? Do you have any idea?
It's probably it's kind of like a private school, and they probably have. I think charter. It may mean it has something to do with the University of, or Florida State University.
Okay. Well, they are the Seminoles, and it is Florida High. 1,698 students in that school. It's big enough to be a Class 4A. As they cover up some of our equipment here. Make sure it doesn't get all wet. And it looks like we're going to have to rely on the monitor now, Coach. And hard to see.
Yeah, I can scoot up, but with
Maybe
my eyes,
wet.
it won't matter.
We have some old sets of eyes, don't we? Here's the pitch. It's popped up and fouled out of play. Well, we're in the 7th inning. All kinds of things happen with the drizzle. It's not a hard rain. You can see some people in the stands there holding things over their head umbrellas. You saw that between innings. Here's the pitch, and that's hit in the air. Shortstop and center fielder coming together, and the shortstop makes the catch.
That almost looked like a magic trick.
Yeah, it did. Tosher makes the catch. Now it's the top of the order. Here's Ashley Leone. 2 hits already in this game. Single and a double, both of them to center field. Next time up, she hit one to right field. And she will swing right through that one.
It's a very good curveball there by Rossman. Very good. I was talking about it yesterday. She had 12 shutouts on the season and then threw one yesterday also. That's quite a very good high school season.
Here's the pitch. It's bunted. Yeah, it's foul. No, it's not foul. It's going to be a base hit. I thought the umpire was signaling foul, but he was just signaling safe. And a bunt single by Ashley Leone, who has 3 base hits in this game. Here comes Dominique Grossman. We're talking about affiliation with Florida State, and that's exactly what it was. It's actually what's called a laboratory school affiliated with Florida State University. It serves grades K through 12. Here's one fouled away. Sponsored by Florida State University's College of Education.
Okay.
I know where I came from, University of Northern Iowa had a school like that, but it's closing. this year, so I'm not sure if that has to do with state funding or what it is.
Yeah, I'm sure it does, yeah.
Here's the delivery. High, and then it's ball one ball, one strike. Got to be one of the oldest schools around, founded in 1857.
Wow.
That's even before Civil War.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Here they are, trying for their first state championship. Ball fouled away.
I hope they're all not in the same building.
Yeah, no, it doesn't say. Well, they
would have been one room, 1850.
they're still a one room. It's the old brick schoolhouse. Got a little house on the prairie.
There you go.
Everybody's in the same grade or in the same room, no matter what grade you are. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. And they throw down to first base. Well, the runner at first base got back in time, but she had to do a little hop, skip, and a jump.
That was a strikeout, I guess.
Yes, it was. 9 strikeouts, and now they're going to bring Coach Rossman out.
Yeah, this meeting is about just Teixeira. Pretty sure they're going to probably try to pitch to her carefully, or he's going out with a mind, to let them know where they need to be.
She has a single and a double already in this game. Explain again, how many times can a coach come out like this?
In this situation, in high school, he can come out 2 times. On his 3rd meeting in the inning, she's got to go. We got to switch pitchers.
As you can see, the lights here, the rain coming straight down. We mentioned there's no wind. There's a little bit of a breeze, but not much of a wind.
Yeah.
Coming straight down. We're in the top of the 7th, trying to get this one in. See the groundskeeper, this guy down here. You can't see him on camera, but he's the groundskeeper, and he's pacing back and forth because it's his job to keep this field in playing shape.
Yeah, he's trying to figure out if he's going to be able to make it through to the next game, I think.
If they have any kind of delay, it might affect the... There's one bounce. Nice bounce right up to first baseman Rozier, who makes the play.
That was a tough hop.
Yeah, I'm not sure she knew that was the 3rd out. No runs on a hit, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. Well, it's what they call do or die time, Coach. You got to have 2 as we go now to the bottom half of the 7th inning. To do it, you're going to have to go with batters number 6, 7, and 8. Davis, Rossman, and Rozier. Well, they haven't been able to do a whole lot. I mean, there's never been an inning with more than 1 runner on base at any one time. So it's going to be tough to get to Gabriel to score those 2 runs.
Yeah, and again, you might need to rely on a miscue of some kind, besides a hit or maybe a walk here or there.
Well, it's perfect weather for that, as you mentioned earlier, because of the slippery ball. And a ball hit on the ground, maybe not so much in the infield, but in the outfield where the grass is retaining the water.
Yeah, plus footing. I mean, now if it gets a little glazed over on that clay out there, it becomes slippery. And then plus your footing in the outfield, you're going to want to make sure if you're stopping real quick, you're stopping in a controlled situation, control yourself.
Gulliver prep, trying to put Florida Seminoles away. Notable alumni. We had fun with this the other day when we did Miami Palmetto. Dean Palmer, Major League Baseball player, is a graduate of Florida High School. Played for the Tigers and the Rangers. Martin Mayhew, former NFL football player, current general manager of the Detroit Lions.
I'll be darned. I remember him. I think he played with the Redskins or somebody maybe. I don't know. I can't think of. I remember the name.
Lincoln Link Jarrett, former pro baseball player and currently the director of player development at Auburn University, is a graduate of Florida High School. As will be this young lady in a couple more years, sophomore second baseman Courtney Davis. And she lines that one foul. Brett Blizzard, class of '99, University of North Carolina at Wilmington's all-time leading scorer in men's basketball history, scored 2,144 points. Almost breaking your record, Coach, when you were in school.
Yeah, sounds close.
There's the ball hit too short. Well, no problem fielding that one. 1 gone in the bottom half of the 7th inning.
Yeah, Gabriel threw back-to-back off-speed pitches there.
1 out. Now you're down to Taylor Rossman. Rossman, who is playing her final game as a high school player. Let's see, Dave Ross, Major League Baseball catcher, currently playing for the Braves. Nick Francis, Kansas City Royals right fielder. They must have a good baseball program there. Brandon Jenkins, defensive end for Florida State right now. Jeremy Lenzo, Alex Garcia. Bassists and guitars for the group Mayday Parade.
A lot of athletic alumni there.
Yeah. Here's the delivery. That one is going to miss down low. 1 ball, no strikes. On Taylor Rossman. Flew out to left field, grounded to short. I don't think rain's really coming down as hard now.
I think actually it's stopped, I think.
Here's the pitch, hit in the air. Center fielder going back. Grossman makes the catch. You can hear the screaming, the anticipation as Gulliver Prep. There, you look at their dugout there. They're excited, aren't they?
Yeah, they're all getting ready to stand at the gate.
Yeah. The pitcher's smiling. She knows she's only 1 out away. Christina Gabriel throwing a 2-hitter. One was a triple in the 4th inning. One was a single in the 6th. Last hope for Taylor Rozier. That will be a strike. Rozier walked and struck out in this game. Florida Seminoles won the Girls State Basketball Championship in 2007, but it looks like they're going to finish second at state softball. Here's the pitch. That one's grounded in the hole is short over to first base. They got her. There they are, folks. Celebrating in the circle, tumbling all around, getting dirty. They're state champions. State champions Gulliver Prep winning their 5th state championship. Some people say winning gets old. I don't think so.
Doesn't look like it from their reaction, right?
No, it doesn't. And meanwhile, the losing team, the Seminoles of Florida, waiting at first base to shake hands with their opponents for this game. Yeah, they played through the rain. They had the long rain delay. You know, you pump yourself up getting ready to play at a certain time, and all of a sudden you play 2.5 hours later. State championship time, Coach. It's very, very exciting.
Yes, it is. It's one of those things, just like this game, the kids win or lose, they'll remember this forever.
Yes, they will. Well, Coach, thank you for joining us. It's one more game, and we can send you home with your steak dinner and all.
That's good.
If you want to buy a DVD of this broadcast or any of the others that we've had, this being the 23rd broadcast of the week, you just go to Florida High School Athletic Association, FHSAA Sports.com. You're already there right now. Just take a look at where you can order the DVD and place your order for as many as you want. And it'll be a nice reminder, especially to the Gulliver Prep Raiders, as they've won the state championship once again. The final here, 3-1 over Florida High School. That's going to do it. We want to thank our production crew, our engineers in the truck, and our camera people who tried to keep themselves and their camera equipment dry as we did here. You can see the sky here as it looks like the rain is moving through. And I want to thank everybody for watching and listening, and we hope you enjoyed it. Final score 3-1. Gulliver winning the Class 4A state championship over Florida High School. For my guest, I'm Kelly Neff.